time goes fastest and slowest when you're sick.
Rock it down too high.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Week 2 of the buggy build series. The Rocky Mountain High, as Matt named it, but we've made some progress over the last week. The most significant part of it is going to be in the back of the buggy here, which I'm super excited about, but we'll get to all of that here in a little bit. Since you saw it, the other big visual change you'll see is the wheels. I have swapped out the KMC impacts that I had on here for these brand new KMC Riots from Vanquish Products. And I went with the blue and bronze theme to match the jeans theme that we're going to be hitting as hard as possible here in the very near future. I swapped those out. I've got the same Yokohama Geolander MTs on the car. I do have the 2-stage Vanquish VTS foams in there for the 4.75 tires. Those are, they fill everything out nicely. Other than that, the wheels have the stock clamp rings inside. So still have not added any additional weight yet, but that's the big visual change. Other than I did reprint the dash as well. I actually had here already some carbon fiber filament from Bamboo that is labeled jeans denim or denim jeans or jeans blue, whatever it was. It had to do with jeans. So I 3D printed the dash and the valve cover for the new Ecotech engine that I got finished for the rear of the buggy. So I reprinted both of those parts and I like the color. I mentioned it at the end of the last video that the theme I was going to go on was going to be jeans, like blue jeans, denim jeans, that type of thing. So that is, I've fully committed to that. That is going to be the plan. And we're going to try and take it as far as possible. I think I'm going to do some denim fiber forged panels, at least for the hood, and probably a forged type setup, a layup for the side panels and the roof as well. We'll figure out how all that works. I ordered some denim fabric in multiple different colors to kind of figure out exactly what I like. Do we want to go acid wash, stone wash? What era are we going for? 3 shades from, kind of light-ish that would maybe match the dash closer to a very dark, which would probably match the wheels closer. So we're going to play around, figure out which one is going to be best. There was basically a sample pack of all of those colors in one. Perfect. It'll be here tomorrow, or the day that this video actually goes up. But this, we're filming on Wednesday, right before the live stream. So beyond that, inside of the chassis, nothing else has really changed. Most of my week was spent designing this motor for the back of the buggy, and it turned out really well. It is modeled after a Chevy Ecotech, as that is something that's very popular to use in this type of buggy. It's a turbocharged engine from the fact, well, you can get it in a turbocharged fashion. Most of them were just naturally aspirated, but I decided to go turbo, added the turbo on the side, designed a big 4-into-1 collector that goes into that turbo, and it's got an exhaust that comes out the back as well. A couple of parts that I'm going to reprint. This isn't actually the final version of the engine that I hosted for all the guys in the build along to print for themselves. I've made a couple of tweaks since then, but I haven't reprinted my own. It's very close. Visually, you wouldn't notice too many differences. There's just some subtle little changes. But inside of that Ecotech engine is our actual electric motor. It's hidden right back there currently and clears everywhere. I've got a longer can motor in there currently, something that's similar to like the Holmes 540M as far as actual motor size and length, the one that's available currently at least. So it's sitting in there well. The oil pan, it's also got a fuel cell here on the side. Since I'm covering that large electric motor and that doesn't fit within the block of this, I used the small fuel cell that was packaged here on the side is something to help cover up that shape of the electric motor. So that's kind of why it's there. In these buggies in the real world, they use very tiny little fuel cells. Sometimes they're actually even on the rear axle. So they kind of just go wherever they fit. And this seemed like a reasonable spot to, portray that it would be. It works well enough. Now, I don't know how much more I'll add to this engine. I don't have the lower pulley on there yet, which I did design. I could probably get that 3D printed. Maybe that's on for the B-roll of this. We don't know yet. And then the other thing that I do plan on doing is I do want to get a rear mounted radiator setup put in here just to kind of help add a little bit more to the back of the car before I call that 100% done. But the other big thing is what's sitting next to me here. These are the newest servos from Reefs RC. I covered these in the scale news on Monday and was able to get a couple of expedited shipped to me so that I can get them in this video for this week. They're not out yet, but this is the new 900 LP Smart. And low profile is what the LP stands for. 900 is for the power. These are actually 920 ounce inches at 4S because they are a direct power servo, which is different than most of the smart servos at this point, or all of the other smart servos. They have not been direct power. So we're going to be getting both of these installed for the buggy before the end of the video. Super excited to drop these in. Being direct power is going to work out well because I do plan on running a Silent Assassin ESC in here, and it's already wired up to be, you know, ready for direct power servos. So that's going to make it much easier to get everything wired up on my end. Won't take much configuring at all. Now, the other things that I did work on after doing all the CAD work for this motor, which took way more time than I'd like to admit. But after I got that finalized, I then moved to the opposite end of the buggy up here in the front. Now, I've got those two Reefs Raw 100 servos up front for the shifting duties that'll be in this car. And I have a temporary front mount 3D printed and in there. That's how those servos are being held. But it's not something that I was comfortable saying was going to be capable of being the final plan. So I decided to redesign it so that it would work with a laser cut aluminum panel from Send Cut Send, and then would have 3D printed mounts that mount to that to hold the servos in position. So that's going to require another order to Send Cut Send. And since that's going to be the case, I decided that I also wanted to try and make the most of that. Rather than just ordering one simple little piece, I wanted to add a couple of other things. So I started out by adding some inner fenders up in the front. It's just going to be an aluminum dress-up panel that will help, you know, make everything look nice and complete. The full size does not use a panel like that. They actually probably wouldn't even want it because they use, you know, being able to see through things for visibility is something that they can take advantage of. Not something we have to worry about, but so that's my plan. I'm going to put those dress-up panels on the inside up against the tubing, and then we'll put some sort of mesh behind them that'll do like the stamped style design that I've done in the past. We'll cover all that as soon as that's done, but I'm looking forward to that. I'll integrate maybe some more stuff for the battery mounting. Not 100% sure yet. I haven't finalized everything that I want to combine into that next Send Cut Send order. Whether that I do something for the rear at that same time, I don't know. Possibly I make, you know, a roof skin that goes in that for the guys that don't want to do the ridiculous versions of things that I plan on. We're gonna try and get as much done as possible as soon as possible, but I need to finalize that and get that order coming because obviously we're building this for the WeRC Nationals, which is in just over a month from today. I'm not too worried about the timeline, famous last words, because really I could install these new 900 LP Smarts in this truck, throw a receiver in here, and I could have this thing running tomorrow, roughly. Close. I'd probably have it done tonight if I felt better, which has been the biggest thing dragging on me. I have felt terrible for how I don't even know how many days it's been now. But that's really put a hamper on my progress, as normally I'll come home, you know, if I don't have scale news or whatever, I can get on to working on this, and I can work from the time I get home until I go to bed, which will be 12, 1, 2 a.m., whatever it may be. But lately I've just been come home, sit around a little bit, maybe do a few minutes, and then I go to bed. I just haven't had the energy to do it. So a little bit of self-care, which is not something I've ever understood, but it's being a necessity right now. So this thing, everything is still going very well, but there's still a lot of boxes to check off. The final skid plate design needs to get done ASAP because Brett from Brazen Scale, who is also in the build off, he mentioned that he might be able to get some machined Delrin skids offered to the guys in the build off for build along, not build off, build along, so that they could also run a Delrin skid if they like. 3D printed would work just fine. A lot of people run 3D printed skids. I would much rather run a machine Delrin skid though. So I'm going to take him up on that if he ends up having time. It's going to start coming along. I feel like I should probably strip this chassis down and get it painted before next week's video. And that means I have to also decide on the final color. You know, if I go bronzish, which I feel like I don't want to go too heavy on the bronze because that's not a major color in jeans. It's just it's here and there. So I have to really make some decisions there. My original thought was metallic black on the chassis. Just kind of let it be there, but don't make it ridiculous. So that may still be the route I go. But either way, I need to get that done and going ASAP because there's not much, I don't feel like I'm going to be adding any tabs or anything like that to this at this point. I feel like I can say that it's good to go and we just move to the next. But that'll be a big difference. And hopefully by next week, we've got a start on the denim panels, which I think are going to be freaking fun. That's going to be a fun, ridiculous touch that I'm excited to dive into. Tonight, my goal is to get these servos dropped in here just so that I can start seeing how this all comes together. Seeing servos on here so that the tires are more controlled, it's a big deal. Because right now, every time I pick it up, it's just, flopping around. We've got some things. At the end of this video, again, this week, we're going to drop in all of the progress photos from the people that uploaded them to the Discord. So the Build Along has a private Discord server where we're all chatting and sharing files, and that's where, all of this is actually happening behind the scenes. So the guys that got those uploaded today, we're going to share those at the end. Hang out for that. Also, soon on my list is handling the finalizing of the transmission with the top shaft design. That goes hand in hand with the skid plate. So all of that is coming very soon. There's still a lot to get done. I forgot about that when I said I could have it running tomorrow. It's always the details that get you. So let's see how bold I am. Let's see how much work we get done by next week. You can put your prediction on that below. Also, Matt is making good progress on his version that he got, and you can go check out Matt's other build that he's been working on because it's coming along quite quickly as well. I've got some sneak peeks of that throughout the week. So he's doing great. Since he doesn't have to design this buggy, he gets to play around with another one, but that's fine. It's fine. I'm going to make him do some work on this one somehow soon. We'll figure out exactly what. Detailing drivers or I don't know yet. We'll make it. We got to come up with something that Matt has to do for mine. You guys can put that below. There you go. Put that below. What do we make Matt do for my buggy? Make it time consuming. That's what we need. A time consuming task. And if you don't have any ideas for that, just comment what color you think I should actually paint this cage. Also, if you'd like to follow along more closely with the build behind the scenes as we go, you can also join the channel membership, which is open. I'll put a link to it in the description, or you might find a button next to the subscribed area below. You'll see videos early. You'll get, the special member only videos as well, and it helps support the channel if you're interested. But with that, let's show you guys the progress from everyone else. And if you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded, or absolutely as soon as they get uploaded if you're a channel member. As always, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.